Okay, people, so now we are on to the Shikamaru Gaiden and this continuation of the last era of Naruto Shippuden, heading towards, hopefully within the next few months, the Boruto stuff. Now, immediately when I was coming into this, to be honest with you, because again, I read a little bit of the novel, I was kind of excited in a sense because Shikamaru has always been one of my favorite characters, and I think this episode solidified why Shikamaru is one of the better characters amongst the cast of the Naruto characters, or the rookies for that matter, at the very least, because this guy, a lot of what you get in this episode is what he really is about and who he's become, how he's matured so much. Like, you go back to part 1, or you go back to, all of Shippuden for the most part prior to this time skip, and you can see the development. And I think that Shikamaru, for being a quote-unquote side character, is one of the better developed ones for that matter. I mean, in part 1, I remember there was a point where I forgot who it was, but there was some character that was doubting if Shikamaru was going to actually just be a coward and run away or something like that. And it's like, this is a very different character that you wouldn't for a split of a second doubt that he'd come through, because I mean, this episode, just the theme alone, which I'm imagining is going to be the theme for the entirety of the Shikamaru Gaiden arc, is what does it mean to be an adult? What does it truly signify that you're an adult? And I think that that's a lot of it to do with Shikamaru's character, because you got to look at the world of Naruto right now, and the Hidden Leaf for that matter. A lot of the predecessors, like Asuma, and of course his father, Shikamaru's father, and a lot of people, they're not around no more. Sarutobi Sensei, the Hokage, is not around no more. A lot of these people that were the adults of the situation, the people that had to take charge, are gone now. So there's people like Shikamaru that have to fill in that role, and I felt that this episode was definitely signifying that he needs to be the person that he used to look up to, or the people he used to look up to, and become one of the adults now. Now, I noticed a little bit of a tone that is different from the novel, from what I read. It seems as though in the novel, Shikamaru was more so like, he's accepted his role, but at the same time, he does have some sort of regrets, or I guess a little bit of disdain towards the fact that he has to be the adult now, and he can't just sit there and look at the clouds all day. In the anime episode, it wasn't like that. I mean, it feels as though he's just completely accepted it. He's kind of like, no, I'm in this role right now. You can see even like Tamari, when she smacked the shit out of him in this episode, is like, yeah, he's a lot different now from what he used to be. And I think the same guy is still in there, and all of his intentions, of course, are very noble. He's just basically trying to keep the people that he loves and cares about the same. Like when you see towards the end of the episode where he's with like Asuma's child, or even Naruto, he's like, stay the way you are. And I think because Shikamaru cares so much to keep these people happy and the way they are, he's changed a bit, and he'll take that L. I feel as though it was showcasing Shikamaru as well, will be willing to take the L and change and kind of go through the shadows, similar to what Sasuke is doing, I guess, at this particular point. And it's kind of weird to see that there's a parallel between the two of them, and they're kind of like on similar quests. Now Sasuke, there's a little more of redemption in there, him trying to, find out who he is. But I think Shikamaru as well is kind of like, I'm going to do the dirty deeds that need to be done. I'm going to do the secret shit. I'm going to take on all the jobs that I can, so everyone else can benefit from it. And honestly, it showcases the development when he's flicking the lighter and shit like that. It kind of gave me a little bit of feels. It's like, we've come a long way in this story. Some of the scenes that I really enjoyed as well was just kind of seeing Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino palling around, and you can see again that they don't have time to do that anymore. And it goes along with what I've been saying for nearly the entirety of this video, is that Shikamaru just wants to keep them protected. He wants to keep them happy. So when he's getting that mission from Kakashi to go out, and he's like, no Choji, no Ino, he's like, those days are over. Like, I want to keep them safe. They got their own lives right now. I can't be roping them into my shit anymore. And Ino even made a comment like, remember we used to be together like 24/7, like we barely even get to hang out anymore. So it really shows the change. And again, the whole theme of, at the very least, this episode, and again, I'm assuming throughout this arc we're going to get that, is it's being an adult, becoming an adult now, and not being able to do the things that you once enjoyed. And I mean, I can, on a personal level, identify with that as well. So I think maybe if you've kind of grown up and you've watched Naruto all these years, and now you're either a late teen or, your early 20s or somewhere around there, you kind of can signify and identify with what they're going through as well. When you were younger, you could sit down and watch Naruto and chill all day and do whatever the fuck you want. Go for barbecues, go barbecue hopping. Can't really do that anymore, can you? Like, when you become an adult, you got responsibilities, you can't really just relax and enjoy and be carefree. And I think that that's something that kind of hit me on a personal level. It was like, whoa, you're getting too close to home. It's like, I can't do what I once used to do, and you gotta accept it. But at the same time, I think there also is the kind of force driving against that. And okay, yeah, you're an adult, but that doesn't mean that your life completely stops. And I think that's what Kakashi was trying to push to him, is like, take a break. You know, you're human. Relax. It's not all serious business. So I think there's also that whole force of, and that idea that, okay, just because you're an adult, life doesn't end. Doesn't mean that everything always has to be work, 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 busy, busy, busy. You can stop and enjoy the clouds. We see that he has two somewhat subordinates in this episode that he got towards the end, Ro and Soku, and it seems as though that's kind of playing the role of something that Shikamaru wanted for a while, and at the same time the role that he played for a long time with Asuma and, you know, his father and stuff like that, and that's having somebody to look after. Now, Ro looks like a grown-ass man, and I can see that there might be some conflict based on his character. He comes across as like, yeah, I know everything, and I think Soku as well kind of has like that little spoiled attitude of, yeah, I know everything, but I'm imagining by the end of this arc they're gonna go through some crazy shit, and they're gonna change for the better, hopefully, unless, I don't know, one of them gets crushed by a boulder and comes back with a mask. Okay, we're not doing that shit again. And honestly, for the most part, I really enjoyed this episode. I'm curious to see where it goes. In comparison to the Sasuke stuff, I think the Sasuke stuff, it was interesting because we've never really got much of Sasuke other than him doing like some really fucked up shit or having fights. So it was interesting to see that side of Sasuke that we didn't see. With this side of Shikamaru, the difference is we're seeing the development and who he's become after everything he had to endure between all the missions as a kid, and then the war in Shippuden, everything that he's been through. We're seeing the culmination of all that and the development into what he's become. And I'm imagining as well, hopefully by the end of all this, Shikamaru learns a lesson that, yeah, you can relax. You don't always have to be just basically a stiff ass, and you can kind of enjoy life. And I think in a way that's possibly even a commentary on society, and in particular in Japan, because I do know that they have really rough life schedules as far as like, you know, they're always on their scholastics and work and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of a social commentary in that regard, that being an adult means you can't just relax and chill anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. But as a whole, I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a pretty good start to this arc, and the last little dialogue between Shikamaru and Naruto, you could definitely see that this is getting close to the last era, so maybe somewhere within the next few arcs the last stuff is going to happen. Kind of curious to see where that goes, but I'm kind of curious what you guys think. First of all, how do you feel about the theme of this episode and potentially the Shikamaru Gaiden stuff regarding what it means to be an adult? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about Shikamaru's character as far as like, you know, if you remember him from part 1 when he was like, this is such a fucking pain and shit like that, to see him taking on all the responsibilities, now having pupils, working directly under the Hokage and stuff, does it kind of trip you out? I mean, personally, I think it's great development, and again, it showcases why Shikamaru is one of the best characters. He's willing to take all of the nonsense that people don't want in order to see people just live normally. And how did you feel about seeing Asuma's kid, that scene with Shikamaru and Kurenai? I mean, it's just surreal. I think if it wasn't for all the back stuff that we've had, you know, hundreds upon hundreds of episodes and chapters, it wouldn't have the same impact, but ultimately it does, because we know these characters. We've seen them when they were young. We've seen Kurenai when she was actually still a sensei and not, you know, a mother that is staying at home. So it's just surreal to see all this going down. And your overall thoughts of the episode, how you feeling with this stuff with Shikamaru in comparison to when we had the Sasuke stuff? Honestly, I'm still very interested in Shikamaru. Maybe I had slight more interest for Sasuke just because, again, it was kind of like, yo, we never seen the side of Sasuke, but then again, we've never seen the side of Shikamaru because it's all new territory for even him himself. It's like 2 years later, and now he's taking the same role that he used to aspire and look up to with Asuma and his father and all the people in the village. And just your overall thoughts of all this. Honestly, I enjoyed the episode for the most part, and I would say it was, for a starting episode, I want to say maybe 8.5, a lot deeper, and I think that that's going to be par for the course with a lot of these novel adaptations than some of the stuff that we've gotten even in the original material. A lot of the original material is just kind of following a plot line. This one is actually throwing a theme in it. So if Sasuke's was a journey of redemption and a journey to kind of basically make up for some of the fucked up shit you've done, then Shikamaru's is a journey to adulthood and discovering what it's like to live now being an adult and not having people over your shoulder to guide you through life's bullshit. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.